I want to frame this. I'm not just talking about this season. I'm talking about since 2018. Yeah, when this whole LeBron era started.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen games where they just played down to their competition, where they would play great against great teams, but then they would suck against bad ones.
Yeah.
They would be horrible against one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is a leadership issue. Just to add on to what you said, right? The
100%.
mindset. This is a leadership issue.
Attitude reflects leadership.
Exactly. This goes from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think as great a player as LeBron James is, he just doesn't have that mindset that Kobe had, that Magic had, that Shaq had, and dare I say it, that Michael Jeffrey Jordan had.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put it into perspective. We've recognized that LeBron is a GOAT. They're not gonna deny that. He's a GOAT.
Yeah.
But he's not the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT, yeah.
Okay. He's not the number
He's
one.
one of the GOATs. Yeah.
He's not the top of Mount Rushmore. He's not the top of Mount Everest. He's not the gold standard. That goes to Michael Jordan. I don't care if you've never watched him play. If you haven't, you should. There's one thing about Michael Jordan. And Kobe Bryant had this same mentality. Kobe Bryant had this same mindset. Okay? Every time they step on the court, Michael and Kobe, the number one thing they would do, even if their stats were bad, is that they would never stop trying to rip your heart out of your chest.
Whether it's playing defense, whether it's, going for just that. There's just something about, that's the thing, there's something about MJ and Kobe. When they stepped on the court, if you're an opponent, you'd be scared.
You fear them.
The aura of,
Okay.
Like even Iverson said it. Like I remember that story he had the first time he played against MJ. He's like, he had this aura.
Imagine if there's a Rick James kind of style sketch what would that feel like? you see a dark guy with hoop earrings on and his tongue out. That would be so funny.
But listen, the thing is, it's not just the opponents having that sense of fear. Even their teammates are scared of him.
And that's kind of the difference with the leadership style that LeBron has versus everyone we've mentioned so far, right?
Yeah.
It seems that LeBron is more of a, I'm the king here. You follow what I do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this. Blah 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 blah. But you don't really see him leading via example. You don't see that ruthlessness, and I think one of the things that kind of pissed me off with the series, and I'm gonna get to the numbers real quick, is when in a stretch. I think it was Game 3. Was it Game 3? Game 4? I think it was Game 3 when there were 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And the Wolves were up a little bit, and the Lakers were trying to catch up. LeBron James was fucking laughing with these guys. He was on the other side of the court, laughing with Conley and Anthony Edwards.
He was joking around with Anthony Edwards.
And like, bro, you're down. Are you trying to win here? What are you trying to do? Why are you laughing with these guys right now? You can do that after the game, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of encapsulating what we've seen throughout this whole year of LeBron basketball in LA is that there's just no seriousness to it. Right. They're trying to coast on reputation. They're trying to coast on the greatness of LeBron, and he's been great. But bro, it's just frustrating coming from a fan who's seen Kobe just jockeying for position with other people, just trying to kill everyone on the court.
It's funny because
it's
funny because when you mentioned when I first saw that video of him joking around with Anthony Edwards and Conley, the first thing I remember was that image of that moment with Kobe, Game 1 of the 2010 Finals, where they first show Chris Rock, and Chris Rock's like trying to talk to Kobe, and then the camera zooms out, cuts to Kobe.
Even that.
I'm not having any of that, you know?
There was this one moment where I think he was injured this year, and D'Lo was a rookie. And I forgot who made an exciting play in one court, and the camera panned to to D'Lo, who was jumping up and down.
Yeah.
You know D'Lo, he's a clown. He's
Yeah.
just gonna do all this shit. But then it pans to Kobe, who's just dead serious.
Yeah.
You know, like what the fuck? That's the thing that we miss with this team. That's the thing. That's the thing that hasn't been here since Kobe left the team.
The killer
is that
instinct is not there. Yeah.
that kind of leadership? You remember that rant we had in practice? Y'all are soft as charming. Blah 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 blah. He was
better, Mitch.
you know, they sucked that year. Obviously, he was talking to Nick
yeah.
Young. He was talking to Jeremy Lin and whatnot.
Yeah.
They were horrible, and he was injured. He was still bringing it, even though he was already playing on one leg and one arm at that point. That kind of leadership has an impact on you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could say you can point out the negatives of that kind of style, and we've seen this in the Last Dance. I think it was Bill Wellington or Will Perdue who said it. I don't know whose quote it was, but
one of them. Yeah.
I want to paraphrase it. He got asked, was he an asshole? They said, yeah.
Yeah, he was a
But-
jerk. Yeah.
Were we winning? Were we a team? They said, yeah.
Yeah. And
There-
it elevated their games.
I think that's a sign
Yeah.
of a true leader there.
If you're able to elevate, yeah.
I know that LeBron is the best all around player in history, right? We
Yeah.
can say that with certainty at this point.
Yeah.
He's the best all around player in history. But those are just stats. Those are assists.
Numbers.
Are you really
Yeah.
making this player better for the whole season, or are you just making him look good just to get your stats?
Mhm.
And I hate LeBron discussions because it always boils down to stats.
Yep.
But we've said this before. This version of LeBron reminds me of Wizards Jordan. Okay? But
Yep.
and even so, that fucking Wizards Jordan was playing on one leg his last season and still played 82 games and still gave it his all.
Yeah.
With LeBron James, it kind of seems that he will coast certain parts of the season. Maybe it comes from the point that he does have that switch.
Yeah.
Well, at least used to.
Used
I want to
yeah.
stress that. He used to have that switch. It's not there anymore, guys.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
Okay? It's over. It's not going to come back. That LeBron you saw in Cleveland in 2014, that LeBron you saw in Miami,
Yeah.
rookie LeBron, that's
Yeah.
gone. This is who he is now. Who he is. It's a 40-year-old guy whose main source of offense is either bulldozing through the hoop, using his athleticism or whatever it's left, bulldozing through the hoop for shots, or taking contested threes. That's his offense now.
Yeah. And I don't know if and correct me if I'm wrong. And but I remember that he said at the beginning of the season was the motivation was to play with Bronny. And if that's the case, that was his motivation. Then his whole 2024 25 NBA season to-do list was checked off opening
Yeah,
night.
yeah. He forced that move too. By the way, okay.
He forced that move.
All right, Bronny James is not an NBA player. He shouldn't be on an NBA roster. He shouldn't be on a guaranteed NBA deal, but he is it's all because of his dad and his influence on the team. I'm going to talk about this later, but
Yeah.
I just want to stay on point with the T-Wolves series.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself a GOAT if you're scoreless in the fourth with nothing to show for it, like he was in Game 4, and like he was in the last 5 or 6 minutes of Game 3, the one we just talked about.
Yep.
I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're injured. You're supposed to be at least giving a fuck out there when you're supposed to be the GOAT.
Yep.
You're supposed to be the GOAT, the chosen one. I don't care what you're going through. You're supposed to be doing that. We're not supposed to applaud you scoring in the fourth or scoring this many points when that's the expectation to begin with.
That is your job.
That is what you're supposed to be doing.
That is what your teammates are looking for you to do.
And-
it doesn't have to be scoring. Like just the presence and like we
Just
mentioned
give a
earlier,
fuck.
The presence
give
in
a
the
damn.
game. Yeah. Like Kobe in games, one of his best games ever. Game 7 of the 2010 finals against the Celtics. Bad shooting night for Kobe. Bad shooting night.
And what did he do?
Got his
He just
points in
powered
the
through the
fourth.
line, getting
Got
rebounds.
15 rebounds. Kobe got 15 rebounds in that game. Made the game-winning assist to Meta World Peace. Made the key assist to Fisher. So it's 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 that influence that you have on the games that what we're looking for with LeBron, and we didn't see it
I've
in
never seen it. I will be honest with you. I've never seen
yeah.
it. Maybe it was in the bubble when they were all focused on the game. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
When they were just ravaging through the league.
Mm-hmm.
But on a normal day, on a normal season, since then I've never seen it.
No.
It's been horrible to watch this era of the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the fact that they have a tendency to start games flat. They have a tendency of letting teams back in the third quarter.
Right.
They have a tendency of fake comebacks just to pad stats.
Right.
That's the thing that pisses me the most about this Lakers team right now.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that they got Luka because they no longer have to cater for LeBron. Really,
Yeah.
they can say fuck you, LeBron. If you want to leave, go for it. We have Luka now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you followed the recent news about this team.
Yeah.
So just to frame it, last offseason, LeBron, there were rumors, and I don't think this is even official. There were rumors. So Windhorse reported it. A lot of media outlets reported it. That LeBron James was willing to take a pay cut for the Lakers to get a non-taxpayer mid-level exception, but only for very specific players, and during a very specific time period. Like, if you're gonna do that, why are you even broadcasting your game plan throughout the whole league?
Yeah.
Why are you even doing that? If you really want to do it, then fucking do it. This is all for show.
My thing is with him, and this has been something that I've questioned throughout his whole career. Is it you can't consider yourself the GOAT if you insist on building a super team, and that's the way you win championships when you're with like a big three. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at his first three rings. Not the bubble championship. I know he had AD, but that's it. We just played great team basketball. All right. But let's look at his first three rings. The two in Miami, he had Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and not just that. That was a team where if everyone was in their prime, that would have been a dream team. Sean Marion, Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, Birdman. That would have been a stacked team from 1 to probably 10. And then you have that Cleveland team where, okay, I'm comfortable coming back to Cleveland because they have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
Well, not really. They had Kyrie Irving and the number 1 pick, which they used to trade for Kevin Love. He wouldn't have gone to Cleveland if Kevin Love wasn't there. Let's make that make that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Cleveland only had Kyrie Irving and a shitty first round pick, that shit wouldn't have happened.
No,
because there was gonna be no reason for him.
No,
but go on.
So yeah, I mean, like, what's the news now? What are we hearing through the grapevine? Oh,
right.
He's already plotting to get Giannis.
Look, so at the very least, what I've read is that so the pay cut that he took, well, at least might have took last time, is probably not going to happen. And number 2, he might not even finish his career in Los Angeles. He might. Right. He's doing what he's been doing since 2010. Really, it's just
if he declines the option, then there you go.
He's using his contract to force moves for the team. That's it. That's how he pushed that for that stupid Westbrook trade that kind of essentially got us to this point in the first place. Thank you, LeBron. Okay, this is his fault. Why we're even in this shitty position in the first place? If he just shut his mouth and let the Buddy Hield trade, which was that was just Kuzma and Montrez. That's it.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have lost the depth that they did. Even though Buddy Hield would probably have been a mistake, that's beside the point. They wouldn't have lost KCP.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have lost Alex. They still would have had assets to make deals for other people.
Right.
But LeBron decided, all right, fuck it. Brooklyn has a super team now. I want one more again. So he forced that Westbrook trade under the guise of, okay, if you don't trade for Westbrook, my extension year, I'm going to leave, blah, blah, blah. That's what he does. This is what he's done for years. That's why he left Miami in the first
It's
place.
essentially almost like blackmailing.
It is blackmailing. That's what he's doing,
Yeah.
right? You can make the point that sure, Palinka is a gold general manager, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, is Palinka gonna play chicken with you? Right? It's just a losing game. Might as well go through
Yeah.
it. And LeBron cannot wash that stain of the Westbrook trade on his legacy.
No.
Right? He forced the worst trade
Yeah.
in Lakers history by getting Westbrook. And now what is he doing? He forced the Lakers to draft his son and give him a guaranteed contract. His son, by the way, is useless. Sorry, I know he's been through a lot. Best of luck to him, but he's not an NBA player.
No.
The only reason why he's on his team is because of his daddy. That's it. And he's on a guaranteed deal. He's not in a two-way.
Yeah. It's not it's
Right?
a guaranteed deal. A spot that would have been reserved for someone else who had more, who has more talent and more skill.